Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me and coming around here today. I just sat down with here I'll show you, my little red Starbucks cup, and just finished reading Brandy's post from yesterday and thought it was so good, and it kind of got me thinking about how I got here too, and about how I haven't shared that in a while around here. So instead of writing a gigantic book, I thought I'll shoot this little video, dark circles and all, and kind of fill you in about how I got here as well. I'll try to make it quick. Judd and I got engaged about 13 and a half years ago, and when we did, our senior pastor, wonderful man, told him to be careful because the wife that he chose would break him or make him in ministry. And I actually do believe that. There's a lot of truth in that. But for what was about 6 or 7 years following that, that became like a cloak to me, like this heavy burden that I carried around, and I spent a lot of time worrying so much because I did not want to break Judd in ministry. That's the part that I honed in on. And I thought, here, God's given me this awesome husband, super gifted, incredibly talented, and knew without a shadow of a doubt that he was doing what he was called to do. And I was so afraid I was going to screw it up. And I edited everything I said. I worried a lot. I felt a ton of pressure. Put a lot of expectations on myself that I wasn't able to even meet because I had put them pretty high. And about that time that I was kind of at the bottom of that, feeling the most downtrodden about it, we moved to Vegas. And here I was, a new town. Judd had become a senior pastor at that point. It's 28, big church. Not ever been to Bible college, which for me was something that I thought everybody else had. It was some kind of lacking thing in me. I had no idea really what I was doing whatsoever. And I was kind of spinning out a little bit. And we went to this conference, this mega church pastors conference thing. And so all the people there were at churches over 1,000. And so they were big churches. And I would listen to these women introduce themselves, and they were amazing women. They were not only the senior pastor's wife, but they were the women's pastor, and they handled all the women's ministry. They did all the children's ministry, or they worked on the staff. One friend of mine was the worship leader at her church, and they were doing these amazing things. And then I remember this one woman got up. At the time, she and her husband were the leaders of the largest independent church, and they've since retired, but she stood up and she said, she talked about cooking breakfast for all of her pastors' wives and leading them in Bible study. And I thought, God, you have made a huge mistake with me. I can't do these things. I can't be this person or this role that all of these women are, and you've colossally screwed this up. You chose the wrong person for him, and I don't know what I'm doing. This is way beyond me. And at that point, that started about a 2-year journey for me of God growing me and stretching me and pulling me and getting me to the place where I could be comfortable with who he made me to be, where I could be okay with the person that I was, and that he knew exactly who I am with all of my faults and craziness and failures and my lack of Bible college experience and all of that stuff, and that he chose me anyway to be married to Judd, to be in ministry with him, to be at Central, all of those things. And about the time I started to kind of get comfortable in that, comfortable in me, God really started to plant in me this desire to reach out to pastors' wives who maybe felt the way I had felt for the last 7, 8 years to those who were hurting in ministry or hurting in their lives, and he started to birth this desire to connect other pastors' wives, to encourage them, to pray with them and for them, to help them know that they're not alone. Because if you feel like you are, I felt like I was, you're not. In fact, all the pastors' wives I've talked to pretty much feel a lot of the way I do, just no one talked about it. And to give people the opportunity to learn from each other, to have a sense of community and encouragement. So that kind of brings us to this place. That's why this blog is in existence. That's why Brandy jumped in and joined me. It's why we do roundtables. It's why we have other things on the horizon that we're doing. And it's just so that you'll know that, whoops, my doorbell just rang. Just so that you'll know that you're not alone. God has totally got you where He wants you for a purpose. And I hope that you can connect with other people in this community, feel encouraged and uplifted. And that's it. That's how I got here. So maybe below, tell me how you got here. And I'm going to go answer the door. Talk to you later. Bye.